All right, we're live. Let's see if oh, cool. There's already 22 people here.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on? Good to have you guys tonight. We're gonna just kind of hang out for a few minutes. I got my good friend Dustin Custer on tonight, who I've been trying to get on a hangout for a while, and finally we're doing one together. So we're pumped, man. We're pumped to share some cool stuff with you guys tonight. We're just gonna wait like 2 minutes or so, let everybody kind of pile on, because I don't want you to miss anything. You know, I'm gonna turn it over to Dustin in a minute because he's got some really cool stuff to share, and so we're gonna have a blast tonight. It's gonna be good for you. I'm guessing, I'm believing that most of you on this call, if you can hear me, if you guys can hear me, type something in the chat box. Just say yes, or I can hear you, or whatever. Just let me know that you can hear. Or if the music is too loud, I got music playing right now. I'll turn it off here in a second. But just let me know if you can hear me. I don't see anything yet, but sometimes there's a small delay in Hangout.
Yeah. It's normally somewhere around 30 seconds. So.
Yeah. Hey Eddie, what's up, man? Hey Janelle, how's it going? I see some of you guys on here that I know. That's awesome. Good to have you guys on. There's probably quite a few of you on here that I've spoken to by email or phone. So anyway, it's good to have all of you guys here. Let me check the chat. Okay, awesome. So you guys can hear fine. Cool. All right, while we're waiting, let's do this. Type in what state you live in or what country you live in and put it in the chat box. I just want to kind of see where everybody's at tonight. Just kind of let us know where you are watching from, what state you're in, what country you're in, if you're in a different country. I know in the UK it's like 5 hours ahead. I talked to somebody on the phone the other day from the UK, and it's like 2 or 3 in the morning over there right now, I think. So. Joseph, what's up, buddy? How you doing? And also, you guys that are on the call right now, if you have teams, if you have people that you're working with that you're close with, if you're in a biz op and you've got a team, you want to invite them onto this hangout, you might want to do that because we're going to share some stuff with you. I put in an ad the other day, and this is completely true. There's some things that Dustin and I learned, and I learned a lot of stuff from him. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But there's some things that I learned probably 4 to 5 months ago, I guess, that like really changed my business. It wasn't just like one strategy. It literally became like an anchor in my business. It became like just this thing that I can't do without it anymore because it was so profitable for me. So we're not just going to talk about a cool strategy or technique. We're actually going to show you how we've gotten a return on investment from some stuff that we're going to share tonight. So anyway, it's going to be awesome. If you guys want to share the link with people that are on your team, people you're close with, or just share it on Facebook. We want to get those people in here because we're going to share some really good stuff that could change your business. We're not going to talk about a biz op tonight, probably, other than maybe how you can promote one. So we really want you guys to share, share this with your friends. Share this on Facebook if you want to, and get your teams on here because after this is going to be some powerful stuff tonight. All right. So Michigan, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Oklahoma. Awesome, Glenn. I'm actually from Oklahoma. I lived close to Oklahoma City. Colorado, Florida, Louisville, California, Mexico. Justin, what's up, man, from Mexico? That's awesome. Ohio, Australia. That's cool. Tennessee. Welcome, John, from Australia. Glad to have you, man. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, we've got some people on here now. Let me turn the music off and we'll start. All right. Okay, guys. Again, good to have you all. My name is James Starr. If you don't know me, and Ricardo and Sarah, what's going on? Good to have you guys. My name is James Starr. It's great to be here tonight. I've got my friend on, Dustin Custer. This guy is an amazing marketer, and he's a freaking genius with like Facebook and some other stuff. So you guys are gonna like tonight because he's gonna come on and he's gonna share some stuff that could potentially change your business very fast. It's one of the great things about the internet is that people talk about get rich quick schemes and all that, and I've always been under the impression that I don't promote get rich quick schemes, but it's okay to get rich fast as long as you get rich right, right? So we have technology and things available to us at our disposal today that will allow you to create wealth at a faster pace than you could have done 30, 40, 50 years ago, and we need to take advantage of it. And obviously, I'll be the first one to tell you that most of the success stories you see online, where people, they went from 0 to 50 grand a month in 3 months. Most of the time, those people have been investing into their self, investing into education, investing into the right things into their life for a long time before they ever saw those kind of breakthroughs. But what I'm saying is if you've been online for a while, if you've been dedicated to your business, you've been treating your business like a business, you've just been looking to get to the next level, there are potentially some things that we're going to share tonight with you that can just change a lot of things for you very fast. So we want you guys to pay attention, like just stay with us, all right? Stay with us through this 45 minutes to an hour, because at the end of the call, you're going to have access to some things that not everybody has access to. All right, so again, I just want to introduce my good friend from upstate New York, Dustin Custer. He's on the call. He's going to share some stuff with us. And like I said, this guy is an amazing marketer, good friend of mine. I've not only got to work with him online and meet him at events, multiple events, and hang out with him, but I've actually personally, because of what he knows, I've personally invested into his coaching, where I've gone through sessions with him, and he has trained me on certain areas of my business. And so I have I just have a lot of honor and respect for Dustin, who's on the call tonight. So anyway, Dustin, man, glad to have you, and take it away, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, James, of course, I've got the utmost respect for you as well as a marketer, and I appreciate you, taking the time to get me on the call here. And, the big thing for me, like you kind of alluded to there, people talk about, getting rich quick and things like that. And here's the thing, you can accomplish anything you want in this business as long as you're willing to invest in yourself. And that's, not just a monetary investment, but it's also in the time that you take to educate yourself as well. And when I first got started doing internet marketing, I didn't really have a direction. I didn't have anybody to say, hey, go here, do this, this is what you need to learn, all of that stuff. So I actually had to go through and pick out little things here and there, go and seek out other leaders and get some mentorship and really see what other people were doing so I could figure out what was going to work for me the most in my business. And, the big thing that we're going to share with you guys tonight, obviously, is what I like to call my 100% opt-in method, and I'm also going to talk about the ultimate targeting formula, amongst other things. And the biggest thing that I'll tell you in this business is if you don't have some sort of traffic, something where you're getting people to look at the stuff that you have, I mean, you're really dead in the water. So, I realized that, all the other little systems and things like that, I could get all of that stuff to work if I could just get traffic and numbers to those pages, right? And you can make anything work if you drive enough traffic to it. And that's the big thing. If you can learn to control your own traffic and not just rely on other people for your traffic, you are in the driver's seat. And here's the thing, James, I understand. I mean, you do solo ads and things like that, and that's a really, really great way to get traffic, especially when you're first getting started, and it's a good way to keep traffic coming into your business. And here's the thing, there comes a certain point in every person's business where they need to have some way that they can go out and get traffic if something were to happen to their regular, solo ad provider or wherever else that they're getting traffic, right? So that's what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about tonight. I'm going to cover some other things along with it. What I do want to do here real quick is I'm going to go ahead and start a screen share. I've got a presentation for you guys tonight, and I just want to be sure that everybody on the chat, I know that this will take just a minute, but just let me know when you guys can see this and that it's going to be clear as well. That's going to be a really big part of it, and that you can hear me okay also. And again, I know that there's a delay. James, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. I can hear you fine too.
Okay, perfect. All right, so here's the big thing. Guys, myself, again, my name's Dustin Custer. I like to use the name the Easy Tech Guy. It's kind of become my brand. It's what I base everything that I do on. And here's the thing, I want to make things as simple as I possibly can for people, because I understand that, there's all these marketers out there, and, they're teaching you 100 different strategies and, pushing all this different software and things like that on you. And a lot of them expect you to be at their level already. And that's actually a real problem. When somebody expects you to be on their level, and they've already been doing this for months and months or years upon years in some cases, it sets you at a disadvantage, because then you got to play catch up and go, okay, well, now I got to figure out how to do this and how to do this. And I know that there are leaders out there that tell you for, all the little basic implementation that they say, hey, you know what, this basic thing, just go YouTube it. And here's the thing, you could probably find some good information on YouTube, right? But at the same time, you're probably going to find, 10 different people that are going to tell you 10 different things on how to do something, especially when it comes to the basics, right? So here's the big thing, and let me make sure that this is working right. So here's something that I want to promise you guys first and foremost, right? And this is what I call my Easy Tech promise. And that is to simplify, condense, and communicate even the most complex marketing methods into terms, systems, and processes that any average person should be able to understand and implement. I also promise that I'm only ever going to offer you the best solutions, products, trainings, and tools, and I always want to give more than I ask in return. Right? And those things are really, really important to me. And I will challenge anybody, if you ever find me outside of that line of thinking, outside of that promise, I want you to call me out in public. Send me a message, put it on Facebook, whatever else. If I ever step outside of this promise, I want to be called out on it, because this is what I honestly believe in. And what we're going to talk about today is, again, I'm going to introduce myself, which I have a little bit, and I'm also going to introduce you to the ultimate targeting formula and the 100% opt-in method. I'm going to teach you a little bit about exactly how you can profit from my experience, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the big myths about internet marketing success and the tools required to make all of this happen and work together. So, about me and about you. So I explained a little bit about myself. I've been doing this right around 2 years now. I've been 100% full-time. Actually, it'll be a year in 4 days, August the 11th, actually. I'll have been removed from an actual job for a year. And as far as my qualifications go, guys, I jumped in this, and I knew that I had to be a student of whatever it is that I was going to do, and I had to be hungry, to have that success. So, I've been able to, over the course of the last 2 years, work with some of the biggest leaders in this industry, and I've also been able to help a lot of the leaders in this industry, through driving traffic, through coaching, people like James, people like, some of you may know Michelangelo Lopez. I've done things for him. I've worked with people like Russell Brunson and some of these other big names that you may or may not know, and that's the big thing. So the next question is, why am I doing this? And honestly, my biggest thing is, I understand that if if I get some knowledge, what good does it do if I'm not out there sharing that with other people? And that's really important to think about. Whatever you learn, the easiest way for you to be able to retain that information is to turn around and tell other people about it. And if you're here, I'm going to answer the next question. Is this for you? Yes. And can you do what I'm about to show you? Most definitely you can. And I'm going to give you all the resources that you need to be able to go out, and you'll be able to actually take some of this information tonight and just go and run with it if that's what you choose to do, right? Now, here's some really big pet peeves for me. And some of them are a little bit related, but I came up with this list, and it's what I call the biggest myths about internet marketing and network marketing success. Because I'm sure that some of you are here, or a lot of you that are here have been in this industry and have been involved with network marketing or multi-level marketing opportunities, things like that. And there are a lot of things out there that people say, hey, you have to have this, or you got to do this to have success. And I want to dispel some of those. And one of the biggest ones that I see is, people think you have to be an absolute genius to succeed. Now, one thing that I'll tell you is I don't really consider myself a lot smarter than anybody else that's out there. I'm just a student of this. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to be some computer genius or some natural marketing wizard or anything like that to have success in this business. The other thing is that you need to have a big list. And while a list can help you have success, I'm not going to be the guy that says, if you want to have success right now, you need to have 10,000 subscribers to do anything. Or you need to be able to drive, 100,000 clicks a month to have success. Yeah, those things are great, but you don't necessarily need to have those things right off the bat. And the other thing is that people tell you got to have a huge budget. And I'll tell you guys a little bit of a secret. I actually got into a position with my business not long after I went full-time, where I started to struggle. And I actually got to a point where I literally could only afford to advertise like $5 or $10 a day, right? And there were times this past summer that I was managing $30,000 or $40,000 a month in advertising between the stuff that I do and the stuff that I do for other people. So you can come from having a very, very small budget and small monetary resources, and if you invest it consistently and learn to grow that and reinvest what you're making, well, hey, you can do exactly what I do now. Another thing is, you have to do X like this. I run into these people all the time. I like to call them the hardliners, right? They tell you that you have to do exactly what they do, and you can't, change from that course at all ever. And I have a real problem with people like that, because here's the thing, it's good to have somebody to say, hey, here's a blueprint that you can follow, but you need to go out there and make it your own. And in everything that I teach, I'm going to teach you ways that you can use this in any business, in any industry that you would ever go into, and make things work in a way that's going to work the best for you. You got to be able to create something that is yours, and that's really important. And number 5 kind of relates to number 1. You have to understand technology. And again, you really don't have to understand all the technology. There are things that I'm not very good at that I find people who are good at, and I let them get those things done. I can tell you, I'm not great with editing video or using PowerPoint, any of those things. I mean, like, I threw this PowerPoint together in like 2 hours. It took me some time because I just don't use it that much, right? There are things that I'm good at, yes, but I'm not going to tell you that I understand every bit of technology out there. And another thing is you have to be a big personality. Now, like, again, we've all seen them out there. These guys that are brash, and they're talking about, hey, I've made $10 million, and I can do this, and I'm the friggin' king of the internet. Whatever it is, and you don't have to be that person. I know plenty of people that are in the background that you have probably never heard of and probably never will hear of, that have done very, very well for themselves in this business. And another thing is you can only do one thing. Now, again, this is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, right? You know, it goes back to the hardliners. You know, you have to do X like this. Well, those people that tell you that you can only do this thing, like, you know, if you're in a business opportunity and you want to have a side business where you're doing training and coaching or whatever, running traffic for people, it's those people that say, no, this is the only thing you can do. You need to only do this and never look at anything else. The problem with those people is they're looking out for themselves and their pocketbook, right? And here's the thing, you know, yes, you do want to focus on certain things in your business, but keep in mind it is your business, not theirs, to decide if you want to expand that into other areas, and that's really important to keep in mind. So again, those are some of the things that, you know, I think are the biggest myths about this industry, but a lot of people never really talk about. Let me grab a drink of water here. And if you guys have questions, I'm all for audience participation. So if at any time during this you guys have questions, just go ahead and type them into the chat box. Now,
I want to say something real quick, and I'm not going to interrupt you again, but guys, I want you to really kind of, you know, in our industry, you just see gurus all the time. And I remember when I was really trying to break free, because I kind of have a similar story to Dustin. You know, 2 years ago, I was working in a tire factory, working a rotating shift schedule, and I was just like, I would get frustrated because I was like, man, these guys, they just live at home and they can spend 12 hours a day behind the computer. Of course, they can make money online, but what I want you to realize is that, well, actually, Dustin and I both, neither one of us have jobs. My wife quit her job a while back, and we work at home. But I want you to understand that we know what it's like to work a job and then have to use whatever resources we can come up with to make this stuff work, and then grow it and scale it, and then break free from the job world. If that's what you want to do, quit your job, you can do that. I just want you to really pay attention and kind of let that sink in. It was like a year ago, Dustin was working a job, and he like just quit his job. And to see where he's at now, I mean, I know some of the things he's done, where he's worked for some large companies doing their traffic, and the amount of the ad spend that he's had in Facebook and things like that, it's freaking impressive. So I just want you to pay attention. I mean, things can happen so fast for you, but this is a guy who still knows what it's like, and I do too, that we didn't forget. We don't forget what it's like to be in that kind of environment, working a job, taking care of the kids, having babies, going to, you know, whatever, having a busy schedule. So I just want you to really let that sink in, and just really pay attention to what's going to be shared here. Okay. All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate that, and I definitely wholeheartedly agree with you. And I don't ever want to be one of those guys that's forgot about what it was like to struggle, because while it was tough when I went through it, I look back at all of that struggle then, and I go, you know, I made it through that. What's going to stop me now going forward? And that's a really, really big thing, guys. Now, what I kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit about is where do you start? And this is where a lot of people get off to the wrong track. You know, they're not sure about where exactly to start in their business. And what I would tell you is find something that you can be interested about, that you have a passion for. Not that somebody else says, hey, you know, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, you need to come and do this. It's what's going to interest you the most. Are there, you know, activities that you like to do, things like that? Anything that you could be interested in, or that you're strong at, or that you're passionate about, are things that you can learn to make money with. And I'll tell you, I've looked at all sorts of different industries, from, you know, from the network marketing to, you know, health and wellness, like CPA stuff, to, you know, different affiliate products, things like that. I've kind of been through the run of it in my time in this industry. So that's the first place that I'm going to tell you to start. And then the next step, right, and once you have an idea of, okay, these are the things that I like, because if I like something, you know, it's going to make me that more interested in what I'm about to do, right? So once you have that down and you go, okay, well, you know, if I'm interested in this, who are the other people who are like me who also would be interested in this, right? And that's the next thing that you need to take a look at, right? Is who are these people? Who are the other people that are going to be interested in this particular product, or this service, or whatever it is? Who are those people, right? So once you have an idea of that, then you can go through and start to look at, okay, well, if these people are interested in this, well, what else would they be interested in? What are the other things that these people would really, really enjoy doing, right? And that's a big part of that, because then you can sit there and say, okay, well, if this person likes this, well, maybe they'll like this also, and you can turn around and you can take that and expand it into so many different things that you would just be absolutely amazed. And once you have that out of the way, you've got a product, you know who your target market is. And I want to say something real quick about the target market. A lot of people think that you have to narrow it down to, I only want, my avatar. I hear that word all the time, and it annoys me. you got to have your avatar, and you can only market to your avatar. Well, the thing is, you're going to have people that are in a certain category that they're going to like other things. So, for example, if I narrow it down to, people who are 30 years old who live in New York and, like saltwater fishing, well, there's probably not a whole lot that I'm going to be able to offer that person, right? So I got to be able to look at it and say, okay, this is the kind of group that I like, or who would like this, kind of general interest area. What all can I offer them? So that's how I take this approach. And then from there, I'll go through and I'll take a look at, here's the products, now how can I get this in front of somebody in a way that they might be interested in buying it, right? So that's your sales process. And then from there, it's just following up and making it better. And one big thing about the optimization process, a lot of people think that you have to come out with something that is absolutely perfect from the start. I don't know if you guys have figured this out just yet, but this is not a perfect presentation, right? And I understand that. But I'm constantly working on it. I'm constantly making it better. I got on and I started doing webinars, 10 or 11 months ago because it was something that I kind of enjoyed. I found out that I like talking to people, and I wasn't great when I first got started, but I've made it better. Or, you could look at a company like Microsoft, right? Every time they release a new version of Windows, it has bugs like all over the place, right? And what they do is they release it knowing that it has these bugs, but they also know that they're going to work on making it better while they work on the next version that they're also going to release with bugs, so they can keep people in their jobs and keep people working, right? So that's a big part of it. And with follow-up, there are several different ways that you can go about following up. A lot of people know about email marketing. Some people know a little bit about what I'm going to teach here in just a second, but there are different ways to be able to follow up with the people that would be interested in your products, and that's what I want to get into next here. So what I call the 100% opt-in method, right? And some of you guys may have heard of this interesting word called retargeting, right? And there's different products and training and things like that out there in retargeting, but from what I've seen, a lot of it is either just straight the technical side of it, or somebody that's just saying, hey, this is something that you can do, and they don't really show you how to do it, right? But for those of you that may not have heard of this word before, the big thing with retargeting is, think about it this way. If you've ever gone to a website, and actually, I could probably pull this up real quick here. Hang on a second here. Let's see what's on my page. So I don't have that ad up anymore. I used to have. Earlier I had one of your ads up, James, actually. But for example, if you go to a website, like one of the biggest retargeting companies, or companies that use retargeting, is Hilton Hotels, right? And so, for example, if you were to go right now and search for Hilton Hotels and go to their website, all of a sudden you're going to go to another website, say, eBay or a travel site or something like that, and you're going to start seeing those Hilton hotels ad, and they're probably going to show you Hilton hotels that are specifically in the area that you are looking to travel. And if any of you guys have had that experience, feel free to type it out in the chat once this actually gets to you there. But that's what retargeting is. It's a way of being able to track people after they have visited your site. And here's the thing that makes this really, really nice about or for the internet marketing world. What you can do is anytime that you send a click to one of your capture pages, one of your sales pages, or your blog, whatever it is that you're sending traffic to, you can actually create a link that will track them wherever they go. Right? So then you can send them ads when they're on eBay or when they go to Amazon or to their Yahoo Mail or even on Facebook, which is one of the biggest ways that I like to use it, right? If you've ever been to, James' site, if you go to, what is it now, Boost Traffic, right?
Yeah, it's it's a brand new domain, so it's boosttrafficlab.com.
Right. So if you were to go there and then all of a sudden you go back to Facebook, I can guarantee you with, quite certainty that you're all of a sudden going to see his ads on the right-hand side. It's happened to me bunches of times because I go and visit his site, right? I like to see what's there in the blog and things like that. He's a guy that I follow also. And that's what this allows you to do. Now, here's the cool thing. Most of these, what they call retargeting pixels or tracking pixels, they leave a thing on somebody's browser, right, Eric?
Yeah.
When it leaves a tracking pixel on somebody's browser, or a cookie is the word. And what that allows it to do is when you go to another website, they check to see what cookies you have on your browser, and then they serve you ads based on those. So here's the cool thing. You can actually track these people sometimes as far out as 6 months from the time that they visited your website. And you don't have to just go out there and send them right back to your website, right? You can send them to a different offer. You could send them to somebody else's offer. Just put other ads in front of them. And that's right. I think it's Marchant. You can drop people's ads if you clear your cookies, but I can tell you, the moment you clear your cookies and you go to another website, you've got more cookies on your browser again. So it's just going to be there automatically, and they can also track you based on your IP address as well. So there's a few different ways that can be done, just so you know. But that's the thing. This opens up a whole new world for us as marketers. Because if you think about it this way, if somebody visits your website and they don't buy right away, well, what do you have to do normally, right? You have to go out and buy more traffic, or sit there and follow up with them on email over and over and over again. The average person takes 6 exposures to make a buying decision on just about any product that's out there. You'll get the people who are going to come in and look at something and just buy. I like to call those the impale sales, right? As our friend Mr. Foley would say. I know James is going to kick out of that. But that's the thing. So once you look at it that way, that, hey, you know what, now I have the opportunity to get these people, to get ads back in front of these people so they remember me, they remember my brand. Like, I can pretty much tell you guys, you're not going to forget the Easy Tech Guy name once you've been to one of my pages, because I'm going to be there and show you, what else I have to offer over and over and over again, right? No matter where you go, I'm going to be following you around. Hopefully that's not too scary, right? But the thing is, there are a few ways that you can go about this. There's a few different networks that you can get into and just allow you to get started. And you can actually get started, like I said in the beginning, even on a very, very small budget. This doesn't take, thousands of dollars to do, or in a lot of cases, it doesn't even really take hundreds of dollars to do. You get started out doing it, $5 a day, $10 a day, and that's all you need to be able to do. As long as you you have some sort of traffic coming in to start, then you'll be able to take this and bring those people back to your site and also bring them to other things that you might have to offer, right? So what I want to do is talk a little bit about some of the resources that you're going to use, and I need to minimize this real quick. Well, if I can remember how to minimize this. One second here. There we go. So there's a few different ways that you can do this, and I just want to make sure you can still see my screen, correct?
Yeah, I can. I'm just going to throw this out real quick. I don't try not to interrupt you again. Guys, retargeting for me has never been an added expense. It's actually cut my ad spend like ridiculously because now I'm converting more of the visitors that are coming to my site than I was before. So for me, this has drastically reduced my ad spend, okay, and then boosted my profits. So just want to throw that out.
Yeah, most definitely, and I totally agree with you. Once you get rolling with this, it's definitely not considered an added expense because it's going to pay for itself over and over again in the long term. So there are 4 main ways to be able to retarget. The first one obviously is Facebook, where I'm at right now. I just had a campaign here, and with Facebook, you can actually do this pretty easy. It's actually just in the audience category, and I'm going to cover some of this more in detail here a little bit later. But I just want you guys to kind of get an idea how simple this is to set up. And if you look at some of the lists that I've been able to build, right? These are just small ads, and if you look here, these are people that I've been tracking that now I can go and offer them whatever I feel like, or whatever I think would be of service to them as well. That's going to be in line with my promise that I told you guys there in the beginning. Another big one is a website called Perfect Audience, and I just set up this test account and ran some small ads just so you guys could kind of see this. Perfect Audience is another one of the tools. If you've got an established website and you've got a good blog or something like that, you can use this as a way outside of Facebook to be able to retarget people, and they're going to run the ads for you. They're going to create all this stuff, and yeah, Marchant, you're totally right. It's something that most people don't really think of in the right way because nobody's teaching it the way I'm going to explain it to you guys here. The next thing that you're going to have is Site Scout, and I want you guys to see this real quick. How many people I'm able to track through this, and these are all different audiences that I've been able to build. Imagine if you had an email list that you knew were 100% interested in the things that you had to offer of 5,000 people, or in some cases 10,000 people, or if you look back here on Facebook, I've got one almost 50,000 people, right? And that's all because I'm able to track those people. And the cool thing is, the software does all of it for me. I don't need to worry about going out and actually trying to track these people or set up some crazy system or servers or any of that funky stuff with technology that most people don't want to deal with. I can tell you I'm good with technology, but I don't want to deal with a lot of that stuff either. I want to do things that are going to be really, really simple for me to use, right? So those are going to be the main ones. There's also a website called AdRoll as well. That you can use, but the main ones that I like to concentrate on are Facebook, Perfect Audience, and Site Scout because they all offer different things, and you're going to use them for different types of campaigns as well. Now, let me ask you real quick: how many of you guys are already doing Facebook advertising in some way, shape, or form? And I'll wait for a second for the replies to come in. Let me answer Angie here. When you say established website, what if it's a website on WordPress that is only just hundreds of pages, a squeeze page? Can we enter that as a website on sites like Perfect Audience? You can enter it on a website like Site Scout or AdRoll. You can't really do it with Perfect Audience. Now, here's the thing with that. If you've got a WordPress website, all you would have to do is put up a couple of pages where you say, hey, I've got this to offer or that to offer. And this is things that I go through in my more detailed training that we're going to get to a little bit later. But you can use websites like that. So I see the answers are coming in as far as Facebook advertising. Okay, great. So with Facebook, it's actually really simple to set this up. Really, all you have to do is have a website where you've got capture pages or something like that. Facebook is going to give you a little, what they call a tracking pixel that you'll put on those pages. And then they do all the tracking, they do all the setup, and then all you do is come back in here and create ads. And these are all things that I'm going to cover as well. So I like Facebook because it allows you to, as soon as somebody visits your site, you can instantly have ads running to those people on Facebook, and you can also then go and target them over and over again, right? And Eric, I'm going to talk a lot in my training about how you can get this to a positive return on your investment with Facebook traffic, with retargeting, with solo ads, all of that stuff. So again, those are all going to be things that we're going to talk about going forward here. So again, just bear with me here, guys. I want to grab another, let me open this back up here. So let me jump through here. So that's going to be your basic overview of how retargeting works and the kind of resources that you're going to have. Now, really, once you have these tracking pixels in place, your only ongoing steps are just to send these people offers. You don't have to worry about, a maintenance cost. There's nobody charging you, a monthly basis like an autoresponder or something like that. These websites like Perfect Audience and Facebook and AdRoll, they do all the tracking. They handle all that stuff in the background. And the only time you ever get charged is when somebody actually sees or clicks on one of your ads. So I think that's one of the things that's really, really cool. Now, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys a little bit about is what I like to call the ultimate targeting formula. And for those of you that understand a little bit about retargeting and a little bit about Facebook ads, one of the things that I've always noticed that's missing is the ability to be able to tell who has actually clicked on your stuff multiple times, right? And here's the thing that's really, really neat. Once you have retargeting set up, then you can do what I call layered audiences. So when you first run a Facebook ad, you're going to go through and you're going to find people that you think would be interested in your offer, and you're going to advertise to those people. And then you're going to be retargeting those people, so you'll know the ones that have clicked on your ad at least once, and then you can send them different offers, right? Where I take that a step further is I actually go in and I'll create another tracking pixel so that when I send them to a different offer, I'll be able to tell those people that have clicked on my ads 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I've actually got lists of people who have clicked on my ads as far as 10 times, and I offer those people different things like discounts and different trainings. I offer those people like free webinars, all of those things, so that it keeps them interested. It keeps those people engaged, and they learn that by following me, they're going to get something out of it. And I don't know what you think about that, James. Is that something that you've ever heard anybody really talk about?
No, that's freaking sweet. That's awesome. Seriously.
Yeah, and it's something, I came up with this actually about 2 months ago. And I want to show you guys something here real quick. And again, I'm going to have to pop this up here. So this is my JVZoo dashboard, right? And here's the thing. What I've been able to do with this is these are some of the products that I've promoted over the last several months. This is actually from March until now, which March is when I really started implementing retargeting. And here's the thing. If you look at a lot of these stats, and James can probably kind of attest to this, the conversion percentages and things like that, industry-wide, your average conversion percentage from click to sale is somewhere around 1.5%. Right, 1.5% to 2% if you've got something really good. And here's the thing: I've got offers on the average I've been able to convert right around 3.25%. But I've got things that converted at 8%, converted 5%. Some things down here 30%. And this is all because I've been able to take those people that were interested in what I have, and then I offer them value things. Hey, here's a webinar, here's a replay of a training that I did, and then lead them into something else. And because they've seen me so many times, it allows them to trust me a little bit more. So again, this is just the one account. I have other affiliate accounts that I use, but I just want to kind of show you guys what you're able to do without it being too crazy. I mean, I see these guys all the time talk about $100,000 figures and things like that. I don't know anybody on this call that wouldn't be happy with over a 4-month period an extra $4,000, right? And that's the big thing. These are the kind of things that you can do once you start to set these audiences up. And once you have an idea of, okay, well, this person's targeted here, and then I can target this person. Now, if that wasn't enough, what you can also do is once you have an audience like this, so say for example I've got this one here, and I'm going to go create an ad for this person, right? And I'll just choose a page post here real quick. So what I could then do is, now I know that it's going to target only the people that are in this audience, right? What I can then do is take that and narrow it down to only the people that are interested in a certain other thing or have shown interested in another product, that sort of thing. So again, those are all things that you can do to make this really the perfect audience for the exact product that you're offering. And that's how I've been able to create such high conversion rates on the things that I offer, is because I go through and I think about, hey, well, if I offer this person, this whole category, I may not get that good of results, and my clicks might be more expensive, conversions might be more expensive. But if I go and I narrow that down to say, hey, wait a second, if I take that and I only offer to the people that are interested in YouTube or video marketing or email marketing, whatever it is, then there you go. And I want to answer Frank's question here real quick. As far as company self-replicated capture pages, there are ways to be able to set those to have a retargeting pixel on the front of the capture page. And I would agree, Jason, you're better off building your own stuff, but if you're still just getting started, I'm going to show you ways that you can make this work no matter what level you're at. I like to work with people that are just starting, and also the guys that are already making thousands of dollars. So that's the kind of things that you think of that are really important. But the nice thing is, if I've got 24,000 people in, and I type people who like Oprah, right? All right, so let's see how many of these 24,000 people like Oprah, right? So now I just narrowed that audience down, so I could offer them something, that Dr. Oz sponsors, or something that Oprah Winfrey was just talking about. If I can make money off of it, well, I could take that and say, hey, I know that these people are buyers, and they're going to be buyers in this category too. So you can track all of this stuff, and again, it's a lot simpler than you would think to get set up. If I'm going over anybody's head here, again, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to clarify a little bit as well. But those are the kind of big things that you look at. When you can go through and say, hey, I've got this audience, and I know that they're interested in some stuff. What are the other things that I can offer them? And then how can I make that work even better? Aha! So, Angie, you actually just asked the perfect question, right? And here's something else that's really, really nice about this formula, right? And I just want to go back to the screen share. So one of the other things that you can do is anytime you create a link, and I'll show you some things that you can use, but anytime you create a link anywhere, right, you could take that link and put it in an email, and the people that click on that specific email. You can even create pixels on certain websites that you could put into the email in HTML, and nobody else is going to see, right? So that is really, really simple. And the thing is, as far as solo ad sellers that would agree to put a pixel in their email, all you do is you create that link with the tracking pixel attached to the link. And I just set that up with somebody that actually uses James's solo ad provider while I was helping him get his ads set up. So again, and he's already built an audience of like 2,000 people that he can retarget now with his offers and be able to get his name out there. So that's a big thing. You can definitely use it in emails and with solo ads and things like that also.
That's huge for solo ads because now, or it's huge for any kind of paid traffic because now you don't have to be so nervous about spending money on traffic because you know that regardless if your opt-in rate is 20% or 40%, you know those people are going to get added to a list that you can continue to retarget ads to over time.
Yep, exactly. And that's the big thing. You now control all of the traffic that comes into your page. Even if you had a page that was only converting at 5%, for example. If it's converting at 5%, what's the difference when you can say, hey, you know what? I know that page only converted at 5%, but I have this audience now that I can say, okay, great. Now I'm going to show them this and see how that works, right? And again, yes, maybe the end goal is getting them onto an email list where you can email them on a regular basis, but you're going to have this audience generally for about 6 months. Most people never clear their cookies or their browser, but the statistic is 6 months. People actually go through and clean out their computer about every 6 months. And I know that there are platforms like SiteScout that allow me to retarget out as far as 12 months. And I don't know if you knew that or not, James. But there are things where you can target people out as far as a full year, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I've only used Perfect Audience and Facebook, and so guys, I'm telling you too, I'm actually learning stuff on this call right now. So
I told you, I'm here to teach everybody something, right? So the thing is, here's going to be your primary tools for Facebook. Or for targeting, your starting point is always going to be Facebook. And I want to talk a little bit about audience insights. And if I can get a quick yes or no in the chat box, if any of you guys have seen audience insights before. But I want to cover that here real quick for just a minute because I think it's a tool that is definitely underutilized. So the way audience insights works, and let me just jump into the tab here. All right, so this is Facebook's Audience Insights, and this is where you should always start if you're doing any kind of research to find a perfect target market. Audience Insights is the best tool that I've ever seen. I used to use the Google Keyword Research tool, which was like, oh, well, there's this many people that search for this term, and they also search for these terms, right? What if you could go as far as to tell the exact age range of the people that are interested in what you have to offer, what they buy, what their purchase habits are, what their household is, what other pages and things like that they like? That is what Audience Insights gives you the ability to do. I can actually go in here and say, for example, I've got this set up as the United States, and since I mentioned her earlier, we're going to go for Oprah, right? I don't know why I have Oprah on my brain, or maybe it was on TV earlier or something. But so, for example, she has an audience of 4 to 5 million monthly active people on Facebook. So here's the thing: I don't consider an audience that big as being targeted, right? But what I can do here is now I know that a big part of this audience are single parents. Not many of them like trucking. You get city mixers. All of these categories here, and they're going to tell you all of this stuff. What these people's lifestyle are like. I can then go down here, and I can go to page likes, right? And now I know that people that like Oprah, they also like Elena Van Zandt, who I've never heard of, right? I can, Maya Angelou, Based in Live, all of these things here. These are all categories that people who like Oprah, they also like. And what I've learned over the course of time is that if you can find somebody who is interested in somebody that's not a household name yet, I mean, everybody knows Oprah, right? Everybody knows Oprah. But, not everybody knows this Elena Van Zant, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this name, and let me see if I can just highlight that there. So I'm going to take this name, and I'm going to jump up here, and I'm going to see if this is a targetable interest on Facebook. And if it pops up here, now I know that it is. So I'm going to get rid of Oprah, right? Now I've narrowed my audience down to 2 million to 2.5 million people, which I think is pretty crazy because I had never heard of this person before I did a search for Oprah earlier today, right? I have no clue who this person is. So that's still kind of a big audience though, right? So let's take a look at some of these other ones here, right? So you can tell all of these audience sizes on Facebook. I'm going to go down here and this Candy Burris, right? Because I've never heard of that name either. Let's see if that's something that I can target. Okay, so I can target that one, right? That's still 2 million people. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to try and narrow that audience down. So we'll stick with this one, and then I can come down here and I can say, okay, well, I want people who only make $100,000 to $125,000 or over $125,000, right? So what I've done here is now I've narrowed that audience down to only 100,000 people to 150,000 people on all of Facebook that like this person and make this kind of money. And I could narrow this down so crazy you wouldn't even believe it. And I could tell whether they're parents, whether they're parents that are expecting, all sorts of other things to get this down to an audience that I would like to target. And then you can go and run your ads and say, hey, this is who I'm going to target to start with, and then you can start retargeting them and offering all those other things from there. Hopefully, I think that you guys think that that's a pretty cool little tool, and I will tell you, if you're doing Facebook ads and you're not using the Audience Insights tool, you need to do this, and it's the most useful tool that I've found this year, to be honest with you. Just really an awesome tool. So with that, I'm going to jump back over here. That's going to be the primary tool that you're going to use for your audience insights, right? And then for tracking, you're going to use stuff like lead pages, if you have a WordPress website, or if you've got a tracking software like TrackMe or ClickMagick or Click.org. Those are the ones that I would recommend. That's what you're going to use to start tracking all of this stuff, right? You can have your autoresponder for follow-up, for advertising, again, Facebook, solo ads, whatever you're doing for advertising right now will work for this. And even if you're doing free advertising at the start, you can also start tracking these people for retargeting as well. And then product selection, you can use places like JVZoo, Deal Guardian, Muncheye. That's if you're trying to do like affiliate marketing, or if you've got a network marketing company, obviously that's your product. If you want to do health and wellness, there's resources for that. And those are all things that I'm going to talk about as well going forward. Let me see here. So what I want to talk to you guys about here real quick is, let me ask you, with all the information that I've shared with you guys tonight, I know that there are things that you guys could go through and implement right away. Let me ask you this. Would you guys be interested in having a full-on, step-by-step, hey, this is how I do this from A to Z, this is how I find out what products work, what tools work, how to set all of this stuff up? Is that something that you guys would be interested in? And James, if you have any questions or something maybe that I missed you want me to cover, let me know also.
No, I mean, I'm just getting a lot of ideas. I mean, what if you built up a retargeting list of all the people that are coming to your site, and then you go and take that retargeting list once it gets high enough, and then you put it in Audience Insights, and then you can find out what your audience really is into, like what other pages they like and things like that. So I'm just getting ideas. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, again, you could take that and, say, for example, if you build one of those audiences, and then you put that in Audience Insights, and you go, okay, well, these people are interested in these things, so let me check if I can offer that, right? So that's exactly where we're going to go with this. And here's the thing. I do regular weekly webinars covering everything you would need to think about marketing-wise, from solo ads to capture pages to retargeting. I'm really starting to go in depth about the ultimate targeting formula and that 100% opt-in method, all of those things. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. So I've come up with what I like to call the master set, right? And here's what you're going to get inside of the master set. And this is something only for the people that are on this webinar tonight. I'm planning on very soon releasing this to the public, but I'm doing some special things for you guys because James is a really, really good friend of mine. You know, we've been working together for a while, and I want to give as much value as I possibly can. So here is what you're going to see inside of what I call the master set. You're going to get 100% full start-to-finish training on the 100% opt-in method, how you can implement it in each of the things that you're doing. You know, whatever kind of marketing, if you're a network marketer, or if you're doing CPA or whatever else it is, how to implement it into your business specifically. You're going to get access to my weekly webinars, which I generally do on Sunday nights, but I'm going to start doing them on Sundays and Fridays, you know, for the foreseeable future. So you're going to get access to that. You're also going to get access to lifetime updates. And what I mean by lifetime is, as long as I am a marketer, I'm going to continue to update this product. Whatever new training that I learn, and here's the thing, guys, I invest in my education all the time. I'm not afraid to go out there and buy these, you know, $500, $1,000 products just so I can see what's inside of them, because I know that I'm going to find some value that I can take and make an income and a return with it. So anything that I learn, I'm going to turn around and put inside of this membership area. Another big thing is product reviews, and I kind of alluded to it there, that, you know, I'm not afraid to go out and buy these other products. So what I'm going to do is I give you guys a email address that if you guys see some product or software, training, whatever it is, if you guys see something that is launched, right, what I'm going to do is take that, and you can send me an email, hey, ask about this before you buy it, or whatever. Hey, what do you think about this training? What do you think about this tool? How could I use it? And I'm going to do a full video review of that. If I have to go out and buy the product and go through it, that's what I'm going to do, just so I can show you guys what's going to be good and what's not going to be good, and I'm always going to hold that integrity, right? If something's crap, I'm going to tell you that. I'm not worried about what that other person thinks. If it's useful, I'm going to tell you that it's useful. And here's something else that I'm doing only for the people that are here live on the webinar, right? And James will be able to track this, I'll be able to track this, but anybody that gets in on this webinar, I'm going to give you a 30-minute one-on-one session with me directly to find out where you're at in your business and where I can help you to, you know, move forward in your business. And that's for anybody that's here. And here's the thing, and James can attest to this, I normally charge between $500 and $1,000 for my time, you know, to do coaching like this, right? And that's just for somebody to get on the phone or on a webinar with me so that I can look at their business and show them where to go going forward, right? And here's another thing. I'm also going to guarantee you guys approval as an affiliate of this. So if you decide that you want to, you know, take this and share it with your team, with the people that are around you, I'm going to guarantee you guys approval as an affiliate of this product, right? And I didn't tell James about the one-on-one consultation, by the way, because he's already paid for coaching.
Hey, I want my free session, man. Guys, actually, I'm being serious here. I didn't ask Dustin to give me this product. He didn't. I paid for it. When he told me what he was doing, I went and paid for it myself because I see value in it as a marketer. So this isn't, you know, we're good friends, but I mean, the stuff is good. You know, I invested into it just like you guys will. So I want my free session, man.
And I can show you guys the the receipt if you're curious. So here's the thing, this is the big question, right? What's it going to cost me? So here's the thing. I could easily go out and charge $1,000 like other products you've seen recently, be it, Traffic Genesis or the fan page method or whatever. I mean, there's been bunches of them that are $500 to $1,000. I'd go out and get this all day, every day, right? But here's the deal. James is my friend. I want to give the utmost value. And what I'm going to do is we're going to give you guys access to this, and I've got a full members area that I'll show you here in a second, and it's only $67, all right? And here's the thing. You can also get a special discount when you go through the page where you're going to set up to order. If you click the share button, you'll be able to get an actual $5 discount, so it's only going to be $62, which, again, James thinks I'm crazy for this. I've had other people tell me that I'm crazy, but it's what I want to do. So let me ask you, what do you guys think about that? Are there any questions that I can answer about what's going to be inside or anything like that going forward? James, if you have any questions, feel free to ask as well.
All right, cool. And I just want to let everybody know we just displayed the offer. So you can go ahead and type in your questions if you have them. But we put it, you have to, up at the top right of your screen, you should see a button that says pop-ins. And I think you have to click that and then look down at the bottom, and you should see the yellow add to cart button. All right, so you can click that button and then go purchase.
Yeah. And if there's any questions, go ahead and type it in. I want to show you guys what I already have in the members area here real quick. I'm adding content on a daily basis. Again, this product's going to be released to the public here pretty soon, but I wanted to make sure that you guys had access to it first. So here's the big thing. I've seen all of these products out there that you have 1,000 different modules, or well, sometimes you have that many modules, but you got all these modules and there's all this training and it's all over the place and everything like that. Here's what I've done. I've actually taken this and made this really simple. It's all done by video. I've got marketing basics. I've got research mastery. There's traffic mastery, which I've got a few images or a few things set up here already, product reviews, and I'm even covering some mindset mastery, and I'm also doing live case studies, so you guys will get to see what I do with my private coaching students. I actually record those sessions, and they all go into this back office here. You guys are also going to have access to resources, so I'm going to be putting in PDFs and extra written training modules. All of those things are going to be here in this section for you guys to use, right? And Angie, how do we share on Facebook for the discount? So let me show you guys here real quick. Actually, I'll just go through his link here. And let me know that you can still see the screen. So once you go to this page here, right, you're just going to click the share button, and it's automatically going to subtract that $5. So I would share this on my page. Let's just do this only me for now. So I would share this, and it's automatically going to knock the $5 off. So that's all you guys have to do to get that, and you automatically save that $5. And again, guys, I'm going to leave this open just until Saturday at midnight. If you purchase after that, again, it's going to be open to the public later, but if you purchased after Saturday, I'm just not going to be able to give you guys that 30-minute one-on-one session. Again, my time's limited, and I like to make sure that I can take care of people in the best way that I know how. And Eric, also, here's another big thing that I did with this, and I'm going to stop my screen share so you guys can see me. I decided that for this product, I see all of these things out there that, they're going to upsell you on this, they're going to upsell you on that, people trying to get as much money out of you in the funnel as you can. There's people who won't buy things because they want to wait, right? And here's the thing, this is a one-product solution. So there's one product, there's no upsell or anything like that, And I wanted to keep it that way because, again, my biggest thing is making sure that I'm giving you guys the most value that I possibly can. And to answer your question, Mershant, you know, here's what I'll tell you. With any product or training, whatever else that is out there, you know, you have the ability to start making some income fast. But what I will tell you is you have to go through and actually follow the training. I'm going to be adding more modules over the course of time. If we have our one-on-one session, I'm going to see where you're at in your business, and I'm going to show you some steps that you can take to get yourself moving as fast as possible. I can't guarantee you that you're going to make anything. That would be irresponsible, right? But you guys are going to get the exact same blueprint that I've been able to use to do over 6 figures this year already. And Jelly. So you're going to get the weekly webinars, right? You're going to get lifetime updates for as long as I'm doing this. You get that 30-minute one-on-one session, and that's what you would be looking at on a regular. I'll be adding stuff in there all the time. If I find something that I like, I'm going to record a video and do that. I mean, sometimes I record 5 or 6 videos a day, just random trainings that I think are interesting or something that I did in my business that I think is interesting, and that's all going to go into this members area.
So Jelly, you'll get access to the members area where there's the content is at.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And I'll be reaching out to those that purchase on this webinar to set up a one-on-one. Again, if you guys want to as well, anybody that's here, if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, it's just facebook.com/Imagine Sound, all one word as well. And yes, the weekly webinars will be recorded, and they will always go into the members area. Anything that I do, I record and will go into this members area. I'm not going to hide anything at all in my business from you guys. Everything that I do will be put on display here in this product. And while we're here, if you guys have any other questions, maybe something that's come up in your marketing or with Facebook, if you guys have questions, I mean, I got a few more minutes here if James is okay with that. Yeah. And I'm happy to answer questions, guys. Eric, this is a no-brainer. I love it. I agree. I think James might agree too.
Yeah, I do. Here's the cool thing that I like, because as a marketer, you always have to be, let me move this a little bit. As a marketer, you always have to be like learning, especially on the internet, things change so fast. And having someone that you can go to and say, hey, Dustin, there's a new product out. Can you go buy it first and tell me if it's legit? Tell me if it's something that's really going to help us. And have him go do that, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. I think that's cool. I haven't really heard that before. I haven't heard anybody ever do that.
I don't know of anybody else that's doing it, honestly. Where did I get my headset at? Amazon, actually. It's the Logitech, what is that, G930. I was just looking at the box up there. This thing was like $110. I looked at some like $400 headsets, and this thing outperforms all of them, honestly. Phenomenal headset. And hang on a second here, and I just put there's my Facebook profile. If you guys, add me as a friend, send me messages, whatever. Yeah, and again, guys, my whole thing in everything that I do in this business revolves around being able to give the most value that I possibly can. And I really want to see people succeed, because I've seen people fall to the wayside. I've seen people struggle through this, and I know what it's like. I had some really, really rough times. My first big advertising push cost me $5,000, and I didn't even get a single lead out of it, right? But I stuck through it, and I figured out how to make this happen. And Frank, any way to go back and retarget old campaigns? Okay, if you want to go back and retarget old campaigns, if you're using like Facebook, the only thing that you could do there is create a link that uses retargeting or uses the pixels, and then go in and change the URL in those ads. But there's no way to really retarget the same people without having a tracking pixel already in place. And can you put your AWeber? And yes, actually, that's actually something that most people don't teach, and I think I taught James this actually. What you could do for running Facebook ads, and I'll show you guys how to do this real quick. Say you've got an email list of a few thousand people, and you want to advertise to those people on Facebook, right? All I would do there is Facebook actually gives you the ability when you go into create audience here. Let me make sure this is showing. So whenever I go in and choose custom audience, all I have to do is choose data file custom audience, and as long as I have exported my leads into a CSV file, I can upload the emails, and Facebook actually goes out and matches those emails to real Facebook users, and then I can advertise to those people directly. So that's the cure for that.
Here's the cool thing, that I'm seeing now and starting to do is that don't think of this as you're just going to keep sending people back to your sales page. Think of this as, let's say you're running ads and you're getting people on a retargeting list, right? And then eventually you get them onto your email list. I know someone asked earlier, well, are we still using capture pages and email lists? And my answer was, yeah, of course. We're still going to use that. But think about it like this. Think if you, let's say you run a solo ad and you get, 500 leads onto your email list. Well, now you've got people getting your emails, right? But now they're also on a retargeting list. So what you can do is you can take those people that are reading your emails. So let's say you do a promotion for your business. So you send out an email to that list. Well, now they're also on a retargeting list. You can run the same promotion. You can take that promotion, put it into an ad, and then run it to the people that are on that retargeting list. So now people get your email, they see the email, then they close out of it, they go about their day, then they go into Facebook, and that same thing shows up in their newsfeed again. And now you're hitting them multiple different ways, multiple times, and that's like been proven over and over again that most people are not going to buy the first time they see something. And so for me, the ROI has been ridiculous off of doing that. Like what he's talking about, this is what the first 2 months I did retargeting. It took me 60 days. Retargeting has always seemed like it's been a lot less expensive than normal ads, but like the first 2 months, I only spent like $80, but I netted over $4,700 on that campaign, and I tracked all the way through to the sale. I had conversion goals all set up and all that kind of stuff, so I know exactly what the numbers were. And so when you can reach people through multiple channels with the same message multiple different times, they kind of get caught in your web. But if you treat people right, it kind of goes back. You still got to know marketing and give them like good stuff. Don't just send them to the sales page all the time. But if you're you can send them to your blog or a piece of content or a video, and then also the offers, of course, because you're going to make money. But that's just an idea. You can hit people with emails and show the same thing through retargeting all over the internet in their Facebook newsfeed. That's powerful.
Yeah, and again, even if you're doing like if you're doing blog posts, things like that, that's another thing that people miss out on, is being able to send those people to your blog, and maybe they find that article interesting, or send people to a fan page and they find posts in your fan page that they like. It's a whole business solution. And again, I'm not just going to be covering retargeting and things like that. I'm going to cover everything start to finish. How to set up your capture pages, conversions, all of that stuff is going to be included in there as well. Yeah. Well, if we don't have any other questions, and we'll give it just a minute here, but if we don't have any other questions, I guess we'll go ahead and cut this off. The replay will be up for you guys, and I'll make sure that we get it sent out to the people that didn't make it. I mean, we still have 45 people on here that have been here almost the whole time. So I appreciate you guys being here, and again, I am glad to be able to help you guys everywhere I can.
Yeah, see, check that out. Eric said he's not. He said I'm not kidding. He's definitely caught in my web. He sees me everywhere. See, it works. It works. No,
Exactly.
I love this stuff, man. You know, because one of the things I've noticed, Dustin, is that like I don't know, 6 months ago maybe I started like hearing the word retargeting from like some kind of high level marketers, and I knew that it was big, but nobody was really talking about it, right? Well, now there's like it's starting to become more common where people are talking about it, but like hardly anybody's actually doing it because people just don't know how. So you know, you mentioned the word, and people are like, oh yeah, okay, retargeting, but people don't know how it works. They don't know how to do it, and so that's why I was saying at the beginning of the call. I was betting that I bet that most of you on here have probably not ever used retargeting before, even if you've heard of it. You know, and so um, this is powerful stuff. I mean, this is really stuff. If you ever have spent a dime on paid marketing, or you plan to, you need to learn this. You know, you need to take advantage of what's available right now to use this to your advantage in your business. It's extremely powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And yes, Joseph, to answer your question there, yes, this is 100% lifetime access. It's always going to be there. You can go back and go over the training, pause it, all of that stuff. So it's always going to be there. Most definitely, always going to be there. And I just lost. Okay.
Can all of you guys see the link? Okay, the ones that are still here. I think you have to click pop-ins at the top right.
You can also,
Is that right, Dustin? Do they have to click pop-ins to see it?
I think so, but here, let me do this. Get this to copy, right?
I just put the link in the main chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna put it in the sticky also.
Oh yeah, we can do that, huh?
Yep.
For some reason you guys can't see it, it's boosttracking.com/go. There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Yeah, you can
Yep.
see it in the chat.
Yep. So there you go, guys. And let's see here. Okay, cool, guys. All right, well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here unless we have any other questions or anything that you want to catch up on. Those of you that are going to jump in here the next couple of days, I will be reaching out to you to get the one-on-one set up, and we will have the first training session this Sunday night. It's Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Which will be recorded and will go into the members area, and then we'll start doing them every Sunday and every Friday from there on out. And yes, Joseph, I'll make sure that you guys all become an affiliate of this product as well. Yeah, with that, James, if you have anything else, otherwise, yeah, I think we're good. And again, I appreciate everybody being here tonight.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks for being on here, Dustin. Guys, just want to say that we appreciate you being on the call. I know we went like an hour and 20 minutes, but I think those of you that are serious about your business, and obviously that's who we're talking to, are people that are really serious about taking their business to the next level. Thanks for being on here. Thanks for kind of sticking with us. And I think this is stuff that can really benefit you. I mean, Dustin's doing a launch here in a few days. Use this to your advantage. If you have any kind of traffic running, man, get those people on a retargeting list, start learning it, and then implement it for the launch and see what you can do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, man, I appreciate it, and look forward to talking again soon.
Awesome. We'll see you guys later. Have a great night.
All right.